Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our Women in Leadership Spotlight series for Women's History Month here at Mosaic. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Aidyn. Aidyn, thank you so much for being here. And I also want to take a moment to say congratulations on being named a Mosaic MVP. Yay! Um, yes, the recognition is incredibly well deserved. So I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kat, it is my absolute pleasure being here. Just thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for the quick shout out on MVP. What a shocker.
Yes.
So an honor though to receive something like that. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. We're so glad to highlight you. And it really felt like the perfect time to share your story as well. So, to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about the work you do at Mosaic and
Yeah.
what do you enjoy most about it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I always answer that twofold because I have two types of clients. We have our external clients. So how I serve them and my team serves them is looking and ensuring that their team is ready for the change, ready for adopting the tool that maybe they're implementing, or maybe it's a process that they're implementing, and truly supporting them and ensuring that we're aligned, that everybody is moving along the project, all stakeholders. And then I say our internal client, because that's my team I get to serve, and not just my team within strategic services, but the greater and broader Mosaic team. I get to support them. I get to remove obstacles. I get to be their coach, their mentor, and really ensuring that I am challenging and stretching them because I always see the potential in everyone. So two jobs, and I
Yes.
truly love to do both. I love serving people. So what gets me just so excited and what I'm most passionate about is that time with that other person. So if it's external client, internal, to me, there's no difference. They're my client and I want to take care of them and truly empathize with them and what they're going through within their projects.
Yeah. And of course, that's exactly why, to me, too, and the others in the organization, why your work stands out. And being named Mosaic MVP doesn't happen by accident either, right? The way you show up and solve problems clearly makes a real difference. So, we've been asking everyone in this series a version of this question. So, for you, because it usually brings out some really honest reflections. So, for you,
Yeah.
what's something you had to learn the hard way in your career?
Patience.
Oh,
Patience. So early on, my journey began where I was a leader, what some may say too early, or even myself, if I had to go back, like, was I ready for all of the responsibilities? Maybe not, but I got the opportunity. So it was
yeah.
my duty to embrace it, right? But something I learned the hard way was patience, patience in different aspects. So I'm not just talking about just that. What I mean is patience with those around me. So I learned early on in the hard way, I would get really frustrated. And I hope I can be vulnerable and transparent here for our listeners,
Yeah.
where I was getting frustrated with people not stepping up and doing as much as me, or why aren't they getting it, or why isn't it sticking? And when I peel back and really reflect, it came down to patience, right? We're also uniquely different and beautiful and have so many different skill sets. So being able to take a step back and not getting frustrated and reacting, but being patient with that individual, patient with the process, with the ask, right? But then also, Kat, there's another piece to that I learned the hard way, and this one took a long time, is patience with timing, right?
Yeah.
Really trusting those around you, trusting your leaders, and trusting that the time will come. So whether that's you're frustrated or maybe not so patient with your career path, because you
Mhm.
deserve it today, you deserved it yesterday, right? And you're like, why can't I see it? But trust the process, right? And ensure that you have that communication with
Yeah.
people. So that's what I mean by patience. It's so much more than just with something, it's with people, right? And truly honoring that, and patience with timing and the things that we desire. And that has helped me till this day. And I have amazing leaders that have mastered. I always tease them, you're like patience Jedi,
Right.
and learning from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a real learning moment too, right? Like it's nice to be able to self-reflect and say, right, like this, I learned something from this. And so you take that with your leadership journey as well. And so I know for sure I relate to that. And I think those that are listening will as well.
Yeah.
One thing that really stands out about you is the impact you make through your work. What kind of problems do you love solving most?
I feel like this is not going to be a shocker because it's related to people, but it's
Hmm.
when someone feels stuck.
Mm,
And I try to really we live in this virtual world where
yeah.
sometimes, and some people may think, oh, it's challenging to read body language, it's challenging to read emotion. You can read it in people's expression and their tone,
Absolutely.
the language that they're using, their eyes. Like, don't let that become the reason why you can't see body language or pick up on things. So when I say the one piece that I like to solve the most is when people feel stuck. I mean, people feel stuck in maybe their job. People feel stuck, maybe the project, they can't figure something out. Well, let's talk through it. Maybe we need to bring in additional stakeholders. Maybe we need to ask better questions. So I call it unstucking people. How do I get them out of that state that they're in, whether it's emotion, again, back to the project, it could be they feel stuck in their career. I just love taking that time and truly empathizing with them and what they're going through and peeling back those layers and really getting into that underlying issue that's causing someone to feel maybe stuck. Because when you feel stuck, there's a plethora, right, Kat, of emotions
Yeah.
attached to that. So I don't want our people to feel, whether it's external client, internal client, to feel neglected or frustrated or like we're losing momentum. It just comes with a lot. So that's my favorite thing to do. And it is probably the most difficult thing to pick up on.
Hmm.
You have to really, really listen to that person and the group and what they're going through in order to make them or help them move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that impact can be made across teams, not just within your own
Right.
team. I mean, that's where you have, the most direct access to, but also with your peers and people, there are conversations that I have here at Mosaic that spark something in other people sometimes. And sometimes that's all we need. We need someone
Right.
else's, mind to come through their problem solving mindset, and it can be utilized as such a strength.
It
So I
can.
love that.
Yeah.
And leadership changes our careers as our careers evolve, right?
Yes. Yes.
Especially as we gain confidence and perspective. So for you, how has your leadership style evolved over
Yeah.
time?
That's such a great question because there's so many ways I can answer that. There's so many things, and I'm trying to really narrow it down. And one thing that just keeps coming to mind is the mindset, the shifting of the mindset and perspective on things, right? So as we grow as leaders, you kind of start your career with me, right? Individual contributor. It's about me. I've got to shine. I've got to do this. I want to work. And then you start to evolve as you move into this leadership role to we, right? We as a team, and we have to do this and we collaborate. And then that kind of morphs into you. And I don't mean me, you, I mean you as the other person, right? So being able to recognize that your perspective has to change, and whether it naturally changes or just being self-aware, but changing that mindset, because as you evolve as a leader, the language is not maybe as relatable, or it's really difficult to bring others along with you if you just use words like me or I did this. No, you helped, you did this, you unlocked this, you helped solve the problem, and allowing those other people to really shine, right? So yeah, that's where my mind goes to that one, is changing of the mindset. And another thing too is I noticed, and it's happening more and more as I continue to grow within Mosaic, because my journey has been really, really cool at Mosaic, is I
Absolutely.
noticed that I am speaking less. And it's been difficult because of who I am and
Yes.
wanting to bring people along. So sometimes I have that internal, like, is this the right time? And it's really just, if you just listen, right? You can add value, yes, sure. But the coolest part about listening is the other folks that are there probably have the answers and it's their time to shine, right? And
Yeah.
giving them those opportunities. So that's another big piece too, that as my leadership has evolved, is not talking as much.
Yeah.
Internally, I'm struggling with that, and I think that's okay, but it's
Yep.
really cool to take a step back and just listen and
Yeah.
truly listen to what's happening. And it ties back to the patience that I shared, right? Being patient to listen, being patient with others.
Yeah, I love how you describe that shift as well. And it's such a good reminder that leadership growth doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it means leading differently and allowing space for others. Something recently resonated with me that I shared with a peer recently, of like, I know the satisfaction that I get from helping others, right? For
Mhm.
me, right? That's what motivates me, is acts of service and kind of like helping
Yes.
our clients, helping other team members. But every time I'm the first to solve for it and raise my hand, I'm robbing someone, or not asking for help. I'm robbing someone else of that joy and that opportunity. And so a lot of times when I'm saying, should I be speaking up on this, or should I be helping out with this, or should I be asking for help first?
Yeah.
And I've seen that come full circle,
Yeah.
right? Them saying, I was waiting for you to ask for help, or I wanted to help you, but I
Mm.
wasn't sure how. And so definitely resonates with me. And I'm sure resonates with someone that's listening as
Oh
well.
my goodness, yes. Thanks for sharing that, because I have
Yeah.
very similar, almost every week, right? Where something like that comes up, or an opportunity like that. And I love what you're saying, is just being aware, letting someone else shine.
Yeah.
Because they're probably there, but if you're the one always raising your hand, it could
Yep.
come across as, nope, they're the ones that are always going to raise their hand. So we'll allow them to lead because we love that. But passing that baton to someone else, or allowing that space for someone else to do that, is a beautiful thing. So I
It
appreciate,
sure
Kat, you
is.
sharing that.
Of course, absolutely. And to wrap us up, I
Yeah.
want to end with something future focused.
Ooh, okay.
So, what advice would you give to women who are growing into leadership roles?
Goodness, there is truly there's so much, I would say, network. Just because you're moving up in your career, right? Your peers change as you continue to, it doesn't mean you should stop networking, and have a diverse group of network, not just women, not just, expand beyond that, challenge yourself. So when I network, I try to network with everybody. That's just kind of what I'm known for. I
Yeah.
have diverse, right? A lot of diversity, but I also want people that think differently than me within my circle, who are going to challenge me. So that's what I mean by, like, don't stop networking, don't stop challenging yourself as you're growing your network. I know that a lot of maybe listeners are expecting, oh, confidence. Yes. Confidence is one that I would give that advice to anyone growing within your leadership role. Maybe you're not looking to lead people and you just want to be really, really good at what you do. Be confident in the decisions that you're making. Be confident in the words that you're choosing, right? And I would say the last one, because it's something I struggled with a lot, and that is, stop comparing yourself to others. You got here, not other people. Everybody has their own
Mhm.
time, but there was something special in you. There is something special in you. You're authentically amazing. You have a certain skill set that others don't have. You made it. Don't compare yourself to others. You're competing just against yourself, right? So how can you challenge yourself every single day, but stop letting the outside get in your way? So those would be my three pieces of advice,
Yeah.
Kat, if I had to go back, right? Don't compare yourself to others, be confident, and don't stop networking.
Oh, I love it. That's such thoughtful advice, and I really hope that people take that to heart, find a way to connect with it. I'm sure they will. And Aidyn, thank you so much for your time, your openness, and for everything that you contribute to Mosaic. We really appreciate you being a part of this. And again, congratulations on the MVP recognition as well.
Thank you. My
You're
pleasure.
welcome. You're welcome. And we will be continuing to share additional stories like this throughout the month as we spotlight women in leadership across Mosaic. Please be sure to follow along, and you'll see a new story each week throughout March. And to everyone watching, happy Women's History Month.